So I want to thank Adam Nathanson to come here and talk about unions and union work and union supported adult education. And Adam, I think you wanted to maybe as you're introducing yourself, you wanted me to host or launch a survey. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So my name's Adam Nathanson. I am the manager of instructor development for 32BJ Training Fund, and Eric has sent out a poll, a KWL type thing for this, and this is just the K part. And I see people are quickly responding, just so I can get a sense of what the audience already knows, and then the next question you're going to get in a second is what we want to know.
All
And
right.
then hope.
So 10 more seconds maybe, and then we'll close this one. But most precincts have reported. So,
Okay.
I think we're going to be willing to make this call. All right.
Okay.
So we can see here. Can everybody see the results? Yeah. So Adam, you see that 75% of people are nothing. They know nothing
Right.
about union education programs. Three of them have worked and one of them's a little, right?
Yeah, that's and so real quickly, I know I have Diane and Richleen here. Who is the other person who's familiar?
Who else said yes?
Who else said yes to a lot? I have worked in union member education, or I know someone who has.
That was me. I think I answered a little too quickly. I meant to say little.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
no problem. We didn't want
so
to,
I
we
feel
didn't
I
mean to
feel a
put
little
you on
called out, but
blast.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. It's totally my fault. I should have been a little more careful.
All
No
right.
But
Here,
problem.
I'm
here's
pretty. I do have a lot of union experience. I was an organizer for quite some time before I became an adult educator. Um, I worked in New York and New Jersey for Unite, but so I kind of jumped the gun there on my
No, no, that
response.
counts. I think that counts as one of
Okay,
the three.
okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
okay.
All right. So
You're
now we're on the
welcome.
W. I've posted the W part of the goals for what you want to learn. And this is short answer rather than just yes or no. Turn my fan on.
And it's anonymous, guys.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll share my screen. I have this on the first page too. So
We have two answers, three answers. I see Suzanne used to go, she said, with regards to recycling, used to go around the neighborhood collecting glass bottles.
oh, sorry guys. I just I just did you were saying, Eric?
So in the chat, Suzanne shared that she used to do like go around when she was a kid, go around recycling, and that it kept them in candy and comic books.
Oh, all right. All right.
Nowadays, candy and comic books are all very expensive.
Indeed they are.
So, all right. So, Adam, I'm going to end the poll. We've had it open for just about 2 minutes,
Sure.
and
Thank you.
about 30%, 37% of the folks have answered. So, we'll be able to see their answers on the screen.
Uh-huh.
Oops. Can we view details? Yes. Can you see that?
We don't I don't see the details. Does anybody else?
All right. So, I can read them. It's maybe easier that
Oh,
than
sure,
trying to
that'd be great.
so whatever I can do to better serve my students, what is union training, best practices and available services, how union and training programs collaborate, and gaining additional information about the fund, how the program affects our area, relevant information to pass along to my students, anything really, lifelong learner here, and what kind of job you do.
Great, great. Happily, I did pretty much prepare for most of those questions. So yeah, so here we go. So just to reiterate, my name is Adam Nathanson. I'm the manager of instructor development at the 32BJ Thomas Shortman Training Fund. And So what my job is myself and a team of instructor coaches support the teachers with professional development and observations and um, coaching from Boston to Miami. And I'll give you a little bit of a structure for us to maybe like try to think about or organize or take notes on the presentation, optional, of course, and you would just draw on a piece of paper or a tablet or whatever. But here we go. So I was thinking about this as what we have in common, what's unique to your program, what's unique to the program I work in, and a couple others who are here. And that this would be one way we could take notes on it or kind of be critical thinkers about the information I'm presenting and how it does or doesn't relate to what you already do. And then like we can revisit this little chart at the end and I can type in it things that you might be saying or thinking. So if we go to the actual information, I do have a 1-minute video. Are you guys okay with watching a video? Okay, it's not too long. I wouldn't show a long video to any of my remote students, so I wouldn't do that for you either. So, and I guess even at this early point, you could be trying to organize into those 3 categories of the Venn diagram if you wanted to. And this video is on our website, and our website address is at the bottom of every slide. You can't see it exactly here, but I'll make sure you get that. So here is the intro.
Every day, local 32BJ workers are sharpening their skills and making our buildings healthier, safer, cleaner, more efficient, better. The 32BJ Training Fund is a unique partnership between local 32BJ and some of the largest building management companies in the U.S. Workers get a first-class industry and academic education at no cost to them and without the burden of student loan debt. Employers get reduced turnover and motivated professional staff able to translate their new skills into action on day one. We train 25,000 workers every year in plumbing, security, HVAC, building automation, English as a second language, green cleaning, and hundreds of other course titles. Customized training designed by labor and management together, improving the lives of millions of tenants and residents across 9 states and the District of Columbia. We were honored to share the success of this labor management collaboration with the U.S. Secretaries of Labor, Energy, and Commerce. The 32BJ Training Fund, training that works.
All right, thanks guys. I am not sure why it wouldn't let me go to full screen and you got to see my taste in like music on the side, but oh, now it's gone to full screen. Ha, go figure. In any case, let's go back to the slides and we can talk about some of the things that were in the video that hold on a second. Some of the things that were in the video. Just a minute. Having a few technical challenges here. So one of the things is that the video mentioned where, do you remember where the video mentioned that the training fund operates these programs? Anybody? You could call it out.
From Boston to Florida, Massachusetts to Florida.
That's right.
And online, basically the eastern part of the United States, from as west as Pittsburgh. I think I've had students from Pittsburgh online.
Right. Yeah. So you're hearing Richleen chime in because Richleen and Diane, who are here today, are both instructors for 32BJ. I don't know, do either one of you want to mention what your role is at 32BJ? both
Richland,
of
you
you.
want to go first or what?
Yeah, okay, or what? I teach English as a second, I teach English as a second language in the Hackensack campus. It's a once a week 4-hour class. The students get free books. But next to my classroom is a classroom that teaches low pressure boilers. And that's always full. And I think it's a fascinating class. I almost wish I could take that class myself. And you know what surprised me about that class? A lot of the attendees are women to get their Black Seal license, and I go girls when I see them in the hallway or the bathroom. I think it's wonderful what the union does. We also get professional development regularly, for which we get paid. Yeah, I just very much enjoy working for the union. I think they have great benefits for their members. Now I'll shut up and let Diane talk.
Okay, Richland. Yes, I can ditto Richland, with most of what she said. I'm in the Dover, New Jersey campus with the Morris County Organization for Hispanic Affairs. I teach ESL level 2 every Saturday, 4 hours. It is a very good experience outside of what I do during the week, because I'm a program facilitator for Bergen County Technical School. So I kind of left the classroom, well, not this session because I'm still teaching, but overall, I'm not in the classroom as consistently as I was in the past. So this is a great opportunity with 32BJ to continue to enhance my skills, learn more, and know how I can be a better instructor to our learners and what the learners bring to the program. So it's a great program to work for.
Thanks, guys. I'll be sending you your gift cards after this. Yeah, in support of what these guys said, so the 32BJ training fund started in 1963 in New York, but rapidly expanded out to most of the East Coast, from, as Richleen said, from Boston to Miami. It's made up of building service workers, and that's a full range. That's such a broad category. It's everything from porters, security guards, engineers who are in charge of a whole hospital, and everybody in between. And some people might need to get their high school equivalency in the United States or learn English, or it's just a huge range of technical skills and academic skills. And I have another slide about it, but the training fund occupies a unique place where we're funded by both the union and the employers to meet the needs of both entities. And it seems to be a pretty good fit. We have almost 100,000 members who are eligible across the whole East Coast. And in total, there are about 50 locations. At any given time, we have about 200 courses and 200 instructors teaching. So it's a really big program. And for a description, so I already mentioned that it's a joint labor management partnership. That's the thing about it being the union, and like the Realty Advisory Board is the other partner in it. And the other important thing is it's all free to the members. Well, rephrase that. It's at no cost to the members, or at least no upfront cost. It's all been paid for, or it's paid for ongoing. And here are these are the numbers overall, and on the next page I have a few of the New Jersey numbers. And it's what's on the right hand side is how our classes were delivered last school year, and some of it Richleen mentioned. We do have a growing remote classes program, and those remote classes, people can take them from any part of they could be geographically located, obviously, at any of our programs, and they could be in Massachusetts or Pittsburgh. And we have a big opportunity to reach a lot more people, because as you can see, like this past winter trimester, we run on a trimester with a few summer classes. So like 3-month trimesters, and 8,200 members took classes. That's out of 99,000 eligible. So we've got like just endless opportunity for growth within the organization. Here's where we have a little bit more of the New Jersey info. We have 18 sites in New Jersey. I put a link here in case anybody wants to see. So you can look at this on your own later, but in New Jersey, there are locations that run all the way from probably the farthest north is Hackensack, I would say. And the farthest south would be Mercer County College, Trenton. It's a pretty big range for a little state. And then within New Jersey, we have a little over 500 members took 800 classes. So what that means, and that's just last trimester, what that means is some members took more than one class within a trimester. By the way, guys, feel free to, I in the description for this, I said rolling dialogue, and I didn't say that again up front here. So feel free to chime in and say,
Yeah.
hey, wait a minute.
So Adam, there was a question in the chat, and I have a question myself. So Denise wanted to know if the partnership utilizes incumbent worker training dollars.
Oh, you know what? That is a good question. So, and I was gonna, I think we should talk about it now since it's coming up. We do not, we don't, so our incumbent worker training dollars, are they federal or what are they?
They could be federal if it's under WIOA. WIOA dollars would be federal training dollars.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the big differences, because I've worked in a lot of different adult ed programs myself, and that's a big difference with this one. We don't have any WIOA funding. And so our outcomes, our monitoring, our criteria are pretty different in that respect.
You're not following those NRS guidelines because you're not getting the WIOA funding.
Basically, yeah.
So how many courses is each course designed to be one trimester, or some of them sort of
Great.
multiple trimester courses?
Yeah, great question. I need to go back to, oh wait, let me go to the next slide because I have the catalog, and that is where I can show the breakdown. So the link is here, but I'm also going to open it in a new tab. The classes vary quite a bit. So the shortest courses we offer are what we call quick courses. And let's see, you can see even here, there are a couple of courses that just run for, they'll just run a couple of days, or they'll run for a couple of hours on one day of a trimester. Those are the shortest courses we have. And then the longest courses we have would be refrigeration operation engineer, which is a school year long course with section 1, 2, and 3. Or air conditioning and refrigeration, which is also like a 3 trimester, 1 school year course.
And do any of those stack? Like, is there a 1 year, 2nd year, 3rd year?
What they do is it's kind of like stacking, and we're always refining our career track. It's ongoing right now, but like there are prerequisites for refrigeration operation engineer and things like that. So you know, you've got core courses here, let alone just, you know, there's English and there's HSC, but there's also for some of these high level classes where you have a whole year of study, you already have to have the prereqs of carpentry, plumbing, and electricity, and a number of other things. And yeah, you can see a lot of examples of this stuff. Oh, so here's the career track. This is my colleague Akita. And some of this stuff, he counsels people on their career tracks.
Adam, can you make that image bigger? I think it'd be easier for
Sure.
people to see
Yeah.
some of the details.
Let me move my toolbar. Yeah, and let me put this, I'm gonna put the catalog address in the chat too, so that everyone has it anyway.
Mhm.
Because you know, we try to, that's something that anybody we talk to, we like for them to take the catalog away with them. Gosh,
Right, it's
chat's not
interesting,
helping.
under this building engineer, looks like there is a required course on human relations, right? So it's not just sort of the technical aspects of, you know, how to keep this machine going, but how to talk to people while you're trying to help their machines.
Yeah, you're right about that. So we have a lot of like soft skills related courses and some academic courses that are inherent and are required for those career tracks.
Mhm.
One of the big career tracks right now that we're trying to strengthen up and really support is security guard, because it is by far some of the biggest numbers of enrollment we have, and they're under a lot of pressure right now because with the migrant crisis and the shelters being full and different training and regulations being required, our membership is really working hard uh, in this kind of uncharted territory, you know, especially in New York City, perhaps in New Jersey too. Do you guys have any awareness of that? How the shelters in Jersey are being affected by the migrant crisis?
For sure. And even our groups, and especially in the North area, you have a big um, Haitian Creole groups in the area, so they have taken over our classes.
Yeah,
And with that comes the low level education for many of them, and so it takes a few sessions, a few
right.
semesters to get them to move on to the next level, as you're probably aware of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Adam, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the spirit of your question was that folks who are working at buildings having to deal with folks who may be unhoused, who are like in those buildings or around those buildings. And if you're a security guard, what are you supposed to do?
Oh no, actually, I suppose that could be part of it, but
Yeah.
where our people are feeling the pressure is that they work at the shelters sheltering the migrants.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, that's another side of it too.
And they're overcrowded and things like that.
Right, right, and the Department of Homeless Services is creating new regulations that need to be refined, and it's a real pressure point
Mhm.
for thousands of members.
Mhm.
Gosh, we're going so quick. Oh, the other thing I would like to show you guys as a resource is our training fund website, and this is kind of a place, a jumping off point for just information. It's also lists the member portal where our students go in. But I'm going to provide this to you with Eric. Do we provide the PowerPoints to?
Yeah, so once after the conference is over, I share out all the PowerPoints.
Okay, great, great. So what I was thinking we could do and have some dialogue and report out afterwards is, well, first, I think I should answer maybe a few more questions, but what I'm headed towards is us being able to kind of fill this in about what are some of the similarities and differences between this program, our program, there are several of us here, and your programs. But before I do that, I'd like to know what other questions you guys have and open up the floor.
Right, so we've already got the idea that you don't use these WIOA funds, so you do have different outcomes.
Right.
Other questions structurally? Well, and also I think, you know, having programs that last a full academic year, that's
Yeah.
different than a lot of CBOs, which will have like much shorter
Right.
program length. Other questions that folks have?
I have a question, even though I'm involved as a teacher. How do you actually recruit the members who want to sign up for classes and attend classes?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one. Well, there is a communications team here. It's Glenn and Patricia, and they do a lot of other stuff, but they work full time on that. So yeah, getting members, having their awareness and getting them into classes is one of their priorities. So for example, right before this meeting, this conference here on this session, I was down in the security classroom, and it's the end of the 40-hour annual security training for security guards, Friday afternoon. They've been in all week. And the students created a display of like everything they learned. And so I was talking to the instructor about how this could be part of campaigning to the other security students who need to take this course, and that we could use this display that they made with all the things that they learned, put it on social media, do some, direct outreach. Yeah, so Eric and one other person mentioned that the WIOA and the public, the government funding stuff. We do have a few government grants, but they're really specific to like building engineering stuff, and they're like through the Department of Labor. So they're not these grandiose WIOA things with those kinds of outcomes.
Kind of related to
Oh,
that, Diane asked this question about, are there classes to help students explore how to improve their resumes? Or is Akita
yeah.
meeting with students on an individual basis as a career navigator? So Diane, I think the larger question is like, how much is a pre-constructed class or module that happens, and how much of it is tailored individual instruction that members might get?
Exactly, Eric. That's what I wanted to ask Adam, because as a career navigator myself, we don't hold classes to help students with their resumes and interview skills. I meet with them with a partner of mine on a one-to-one basis. So does Akita have a class, or does he meet with them by appointment? How does it work with 32BJ?
That's a good question. It's a combo. Um, he does sessions that are like quick courses where people come in and as a class they work on this stuff. He also does individual consultations, and yeah, and the other thing is that the staff in general can help with career tracks. So an operations manager or a frontline staff person on the phone with a member can help them with their career track, and recommending what we can pull up their transcripts, and we can recommend to them what they still need to complete this career track. So there are a couple of ways.
Kind of as sort of related to that, Denise had asked a question about the retention rate and what is in place to kind of help with learner persistence.
Oh, great question. We have learner retention similarities, I think, when it comes to like ESL and HSE and computer basics. I kind of think like that those types of students in programs in general, ours and the other ones represented here, they tend to, if they haven't met their goals, they just tend to keep coming back until whenever it is they meet their goals or not, right? But in a lot of our classes that are oriented towards like a certification or things like that, you have an 80% attendance requirement, and you will not complete the class and continue on your career track if you do not meet that attendance requirement. But the motivation is so tangible, like, look, I'm thinking about I can work in another building and be the HVAC engineer and upgrade my salary and my career. So I'm going to meet 80% attendance. I'm going to do my makeup assignments. So one of the ways we track all this stuff that I've been mentioning is we have a learning management system that's pretty comprehensive. I mean, I don't know, like, Diane, is there a learning management system? How would you reflect on using the one with 32BJ Training Fund and then maybe other ones that you've used?
Okay, so yours, 32BJ's is far more extensive than what we use. We use Canvas.
Okay.
And the problem with that is it's great, but to get the instructors all on the same page, consistently using it, that's the challenge that we're facing right now. It's working and it can get improved, and I see improvement happening, but compared to the LMS for 32BJ, it's very direct and straightforward. So if I had an opportunity to use yours, I don't think I would struggle so much.
I mean, we
You know-
use Canvas at Montclair State,
Uh-huh.
and master students sometimes have a hard time figuring out where things are on Canvas in terms of tracking their own progress. So, so I
Yeah.
can imagine somebody
Wow.
that's using it to study ESL or HSE that Canvas might be a little bit complicated.
Yes, it is. We jumped into Canvas from Edmodo since the pandemic. And then when Edmodo fell through, we went right into Canvas. But we really had not allowed ourselves to get, should I say, a training where everyone is on the same page. But we have moved to the point now that I think we're moving in that direction. I can almost see this coming session in the fall that we really cleaned it up and made it exactly where anybody can jump on and know where they are and where they need to be.
That's great. And you know, I guess I should have mentioned we have 3 full-time staff working at all times on our learning management system. So the thing about the training fund is some of the things that we need, they've had the we've had the wherewithal to pay to do them, you know. And it's the same with instructor development, professional development. It's paid at the same rate that you teach in the case of like ESL and HSE and computer teachers. And there's a lot of it. There's some that's required, and then there's quite a bit that you can sign up for every trimester, many hours of paid professional development. So
Christian has a question.
yeah, I see.
Is there a way to connect non-members to the program? Is there a path, or they have to be members only?
Yeah, that's a good question. And of course, when I started, I was asking that quite a lot too. And the answer is no. Even the spouses or family members of members are not eligible for the direct instruction classes. What they are eligible for, if they have if they're like a son or a daughter, is the scholarship fund. But there isn't, the way to be able to access the training fund classes would be to work in a workplace where the it's a union workplace, and that's the way in.
So in terms of you mentioned the prerequisites. So for those career paths, are there like assessments that say, okay, you can go to this level class, you can go to this level class, beyond a student sort of self-reporting that they want to take a certain class?
Yeah, we have some challenges with using TABE to, like, we have a few classes that you need an HSE or a diploma for, like refrigeration operation engineer, but then we also people need to have an 8th grade reading and math level for a lot of our advanced courses. But we have it with the new TABE. The training fund hasn't really integrated a simple way to keep doing that, because we are still using TABE, but if anybody here has any awareness of something maybe more abbreviated and cursory that we could use to assess people's reading and math at 8th grade, essentially, I'd be very interested. You could contact me afterwards, or you could say so now.
I
So
think
that-
the TABE is good, Adam. I think TABE is good. They are coming up, and I do believe I saw Justin on. We are coming up, moving into Class E CD. We can raise questions with any assessment we use, but overall, I think TABE is a good assessment to use for that level.
Yeah, right. And Class E measures ESL, so they came out with that more recently.
how often are new courses designed?
It's ongoing. So like one of the newer courses, one of the newer technologies is building automation systems. And it used to be like building management systems. Now it's automation, and that the title even just changed this year. And so a lot of buildings are run from automation boards now, and so or for example, we have a huge green career track for building workers. That's changing. New York City's changing the laws for green building like all the time, and the instructors and the members have to stay up on that stuff. So even when you complete a career track, in order to stay abreast of what's going on in these fields, it's kind of job security.
And who develops them? Like, who develops the new courses?
It's a combination of the curriculum team here and experienced instructors. A lot of our instructors are subject matter experts, and so and there's a lot of crossover. So people on my team of like instructor coaches are also curriculum specialists, and so they'll collaborate with a subject matter expert. And the other thing is, we have a heavy emphasis on student-centered learning at 32BJ Training Fund. It's hard for me to realize that I didn't mention that at the beginning, but like we really try to emphasize that even a lecture-based course can be student-centered, and that there are ways that you can reach people out of being like just a one-way didactic experience. And so when you have technical subject matter experts and they're collaborating with instructor coaches and curriculum people, that's the way that we reach that point.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, like what role the students themselves can play in updating and refreshing the courses, right? So if someone is working security at a migrant center, and they're like, hey, there's some changes afoot, right? And that they can bring those to your attention, and that can get folded into the curriculum more generally.
Yeah, they do. And from having observed quite a few industry classes, I'm aware that the fact that one of the most common features of all of our industry classes, industry meaning non-HSE ESL, is that the members are always having a dialogue with the instructor about, well, that's not what it looks like at my workplace.
Yeah. Right.
Let me explain what it looks like over here.
Right.
And so that a part of our student-centered learning approach is like, okay, great, turn to your partner, talk about what it looks like at your workplace. Let's identify the similarities, etc.
Right. And that also might, since you're up and down the coast, like what that looks like in Massachusetts may not be what it looks like in Florida.
That's another good point. So yeah, the New York City is so different than the other sites, and then the other sites are different from each other. it's a real mixed bag. A lot of our instructors, well, most of our instructors are part-time, and they work for us through either their direct hires, or they work for us through a community college. So not only are the locations and the members and their jobs a little different, even the conditions for the instructors can be a little bit different in that respect.
Mhm.
So a lot of variation. But
Yeah.
I guess the thing we try to standardize is that it is instruction with a student-centered approach.
Mhm. Diane,
what
you
I,
wanted, yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
But Adam, I want to add though, even though some of our instructors with the 32BJ are in other states, just having the opportunity to talk to your colleague down in Washington, D.C. and Arlington, Virginia, just to kind of hear what they're doing differently than what we're doing up north, it is very instrumental, because some things we don't think of and vice versa. So it really becomes helpful in the classroom as another way of giving instruction to our students.
Yeah, it really does. And for that reason, we've been having roundtables over Zoom with instructors from all the different disciplines that we teach. So, Diane, did you attend one of those ESL roundtables?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And was that the case, that there were people from the other regions there?
Absolutely, yes, it was.
Okay.
From all over, from Florida up to Arlington and DC and Massachusetts.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the roundtables that we have every trimester bring all these people together from the disparate areas, and it's a skill share, and there's some camaraderie there, but it also to build cohesion. The other thing we do to build cohesion is we have this big event called Welcome Back, and it's the week before school starts here in September. We pay for everybody to come to Manhattan, and we have a full day of paid training. And so I then, there are other programs that do stuff like that. But it might, like in my experience, it would be like for a particular county or maybe North Jersey or something. This is kind of an ambitious undertaking. What I wanted to
Adam,
do
can I ask you
now,
one more question?
yeah.
So, does a worker's status, immigration status matter? So if someone's undocumented or out of status, but they have a work permit and they're a union member, does that impact their ability to take the courses?
If they can work, if they're working for the in a union job through 32BJ, then that won't affect them, right? So the only thing that affects them in that case is whether the contract at their workplace, how much of the training fund and the benefit funds does their contract cover,
Uh-huh.
which is it. Basically, the answer is no. If that, in fact, we also have a legal fund. There's a free. It's part of the benefit funds of 32BJ is the legal fund,
Mhm.
and like paperwork for citizenship, application fees, that's all paid for.
Mhm.
So it's pretty, and there are always workshops for the members about TPS and things, and
Uh-huh.
all of this stuff is, and the legal assistance is paid for.
Okay. Renee, there was a question about, are there courses that workers are required to take? It sounds, Adam, that like there are required courses for each job track.
There are, now you're not required to, well, actually, in some cases, if there's an employer mandated course, it could take place here, but it could also take place in the workplace, and we'll send one of our instructors to that workplace, and then that class is only open to the people who work there. But it's not required if you're a 32BJ member. It's not required that you take any particular course here unless your employer mandates it. And then it's still up to you because you could opt to just see what happens. I'm not gonna take it. Right?
Right.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, you wanted to do something else?
yeah, I think we have, yeah, let's say like, if we were to go into breakout rooms for 5 minutes and think about some of the things that we've heard and talked about, and what are the similarities and differences between what 32 BJ Training Fund does and what is your experience in adult ed or at your program right now, and then maybe some of the similarities. And I can share my screen to the breakout rooms when we do it. And let's see, oh yeah, I do have access to the breakout rooms.
Yeah,
Great.
but I can create them right now. So if I make
Okay.
if I make 4 rooms, that's like 7 to 8 people per room.
Okay, do you think that's a good number?
Yeah, or I can make 5 and then it would be like 5 to 6 per room.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Okay.
Thanks. So
Yep.
yeah, please join when you see the invitation.
Yeah, and then as a co-host, you'll be able to dip in and out of the rooms.
Yeah. And I'm gonna share my screen to the breakout rooms now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, how are we doing with the breakout
All right, so in
rooms?
room 5, there's only 2 people. I'm wondering if that have showed up. I'm wondering if I should move them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4.
Well, one of them is me from room 5, so we don't necessarily, and people usually
Oh, okay.
trickle
Yeah.
in.
So room 3.
So
All right, now
thanks for,
there's 3. Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
yeah, it usually evens out to at least the point where nobody's alone.
Yeah. That
Cool.
happens in my ESL class sometimes. People are alone and I gotta go in the room and just like stay with them. So that they don't
Yeah,
feel abandoned.
same,
Yeah.
right. We just do the activity together.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Now, if the catch 22 is if I'm sharing to the breakout rooms and then I go in one, oh, but if you're the co-host, maybe the screen won't disappear.
One way to find out.
Yeah. All right. I'll just go say hello to some people.
Okay.
I'm thinking like 324.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I just sent them a message saying that I'm gonna close the rooms. And they'll have 60 seconds. You're muted, Adam.
I said, some people must be having okay conversations because
Yeah.
they didn't come back immediately,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, they didn't feel trapped.
Be out of this breakout room.
Right. All right, welcome back, everybody.
Okay, Adam,
Yeah.
you're going to give me an extra star because I had to talk on behalf of 32 BJ the best that I know how. So
Okay.
I'm going to let Suzanne ask that last question. We got cut off in the last 3 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, by all means, please do.
Suzanne, what were you asking? You muted.
I had put something in the chat just before we went into the rooms asking about if there's like a component of OJT on the job training or an apprenticeship built into these courses, or do they have to get hired by somebody, or how does that work?
Yeah, that is the catch-22, is that you do already have to be a union member employed by an employer that has an agreement with 32BJ to take our classes. So it's not like it's not an onboarding on-ramp in that respect. I mean, it could be an on-ramp to a certain career, but if you're not already a union member who's eligible for the training fund, you have to do step 0, which is get hired, for example, as a doorman or a porter at a building.
And then theoretically, within the union, you could move up to different jobs or across the different
Right.
jobs.
Right. Yeah, so that might be, so ours is only for members. And so how would we say that's different from most programs that you guys have? Like, they're open.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to be a member.
Right.
For the community. So,
Right. Yeah, let's
so
phrase it like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Open to community. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Renee put in the chat that their students are generally not working already.
Oh, yeah, I'm so glad you said that. So that is a big difference. So employment status is really different with our group versus at the training fund. And I've worked in all other types of programs like you guys have, and that is such a huge difference here. The pressure is like, it's like the lid has been taken off the pot. Everybody that we work with already has a job. Oh my God. And a decent one. And healthcare is free, paid for, not even any copays, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, can you imagine teaching in a place where for the students that pressure is just gone? Yeah, it's a big difference with the employment status stuff. And then somebody right at the beginning mentioned the WIOA being, that's all tied up with it too. So I think the last thing I wanted to do is send you guys 2 more Zoom poll questions to just kind of see where we're at, how much we got it. Oh, this one says untitled question.
Oh, so it should be the next question. Sorry, there's a typo in there.
Oh, yeah, next questions.
So yeah,
Okay.
so this is, yeah, sorry.
I think I can display what that question
Yeah.
is. So question number one, this is kind of our checkout exit ticket thing. What did you learn and then you're gonna receive another one after that for the second bullet point. So next question, untitled number one, what did you learn?
Not sure why this is not launching.
Oh, it's not launching?
No, another one. I think I have to, I know.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And then while you're thinking about that as well, I just dropped a link in the chat. For those of you that do need the PD certificate, please fill that out and I'll send it to you after the conference, along with Adam's PowerPoint, which has the links to the resources. And then we'll also have the archived version of this. So Adam, about
Yeah, we're right at time right now, guys. So,
so
for what it's worth, I guess you could just tell me what it is you still want to know and I'm gonna write it down.
yeah.
Well, Adam, somebody asked the level of our English for the workers who are taking ESL classes.
Okay, well, I can answer that. It's from pre-literacy, no literacy skills in first language, all the way through English language skills at the level of this discussion.
Right. So while people are thinking about that, Adam, I'll tell you the outcomes that people are saying that the union offers classes to improve the students' career prospects. There's tons of opportunities at 32BJ. Learned about the variable services for union member. 32BJ can be a great technical resource for union members. Prepares instructors well with professional development. I have a better understanding of how 32BJ offers training to existing union members, what 32BJ is about and who can benefit from it, the number of courses available and the number of members, and how the union is supporting its workers by offering free training, and simply what 32BJ is.
Great.
Yep.
That's what I was
Right.
shooting
That's, I
for.
think, right. So in the interest of time, as we are over time, like other ideas, other questions that you have, and Adam, I don't know if you want to drop your email address in the chat.
Yeah,
the way
I think
people
that's the
can
best
contact you directly
solution.
as well.
Yeah, so here is my email address and phone number, and I'm just putting it in the chat right now too, and that'll be a wrap. Thanks for staying an extra 2 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
Thank you, Adam. Take
Time
care.
is money.
I'm gonna talk to my union. I'm gonna talk to my union. I gotta get
That's right.
compensated for these 2 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Adam. Take care.
Ciao.
Thanks, Adam, and thanks,
Bye.
Diane, and thanks, Micheline, for being able to chime in too about
Yeah,
the
that was great too.